Last time, you remember, Rocky dropped a bombshell into the meeting of the World Economic Council when he told its members...
Gentlemen, one of you is in cahoots with a box-top bad man.
Impossible.
I think he's right.
Was is cahoots?
Look, if phony box tops are showing up in what you call us, Dan...
And they are.
And if nobody even knows where it is except you people...
And they don't.
Then, ergo, one of you must be sending the counterfeit box tops there.
Brilliant deduction.
Magnifique. What a brain.
And he's my buddy.
We must find out which one of us it is.
And I know just the man to do the job.
Who's that?
Our chief security officer. Call him quickly.
Calling Inspector Soames. Inspector Hemlock Soames. Come in, please.
Come in. I am in.
You're the chief security officer?
Hemlock Soames at your service. Your crime is my crime. Allow me to introduce my English assistant, Dr. Watkins.
Cheerio, y'all.
She's English?
From the south of England. You know, way down yonder in Newton Abbot.
Oh, of course.
Now, what's up, gentlemen?
Mr. Squirrel thinks that someone in our group is in league with the box-top bad man.
Easy there.
Oh, thanks, old chappie, darling.
Elementary, my dear Watkins.
And I'll bet whoever it is has his counterfeit box tops hidden right in this building, too.
In this building? Impossible.
But, darling...
Cheer up, Dr. Watkins.
I think we ought to search the whole building.
Well, if you insist.
I do insist.
Okay, let's go.
Do you think you can find the culprit, Inspector Soames?
Buddy, if I can't find him, who can?
Well, the squirrel has done it again, Boris.
Duh. How could such a little nebbish have such a big mouth?
The search party looked high and low through the building without finding a thing. For an hour, they searched and finally found themselves on the top floor of the building.
Okay, last floor. You chaps search in there, we search in here.
Right.
Boris, what are you doing?
Look.
Boris, you sent him into the clock tower.
Sure enough, our friends found themselves in a musty room full of huge clockwork wheels and gears.
Ouch! I feel like an ant in a wristwatch.
Yeah, we're lucky these gears are moving so slow. They'd be pretty dangerous.
But Rocky had reckoned without the fiendish mind of Hemlock Soames, alias Boris Badenov. For at that moment, the villain was smashing the mechanism that controlled the speed of the huge clock.
Listen, Natasha, the clock is gaining.
It was true. Without their controlling mechanism, the huge gears turned faster and faster.
Look at these gears go, Bullwinkle.
Yeah, how time flies when you're having fun.
Something's gone wrong, Bullwinkle. The controls must have broken.
Yeah, I figure we gained about a week and a half already.
We better get out of here.
I'm with you, Rock.
Hey, the door! It's stuck!
Let me at it, Rock. I'll bust it open.
Bullwinkle threw himself at the door, but it held fast, and the mighty moose tottered backward.
Look out, Bullwinkle!
Too late, for Bullwinkle had disappeared into a whirling mass of machinery. Don't miss our next exciting episode. Give 'em the works, or rock around the clock.
And now it's time for...
Time for the dancing fool, Bullwinkle.
Again? And now for one of our special fairy tales.
Yeah.
You all remember the story of Sleeping Beauty? How as a baby she was put under a spell by a wicked fairy, how when she had grown up she pricked her finger with a needle and fell into a deep sleep from which she could be wakened only by a kiss. You remember, too, how a fence of thorns grew round the castle to prevent anybody from entering.
Anybody but me, that is.
And just who are you?
A prince, naturally. Don't you see the robes, the crown? You want to see my ID card?
Well, how do you propose to enter the castle?
Easy. I haul out my trusty broadsword and... They don't make broadswords like they used to.
The prince was distraught. What was he to do?
I'll show you. These they make like they used to.
The prince made straight for the tower room.
Sleeping Beauty, I've come at last. With one kiss, I shall waken you and... Wait a minute. Awake, she's just another princess. Asleep, she's a gold mine. I can see it now. Sleeping Beauty comics, Sleeping Beauty hats, Sleeping Beauty bubble gum, and biggest of all, Sleeping Beauty Land.
Sure enough, the castle was soon made ready as a great tourist attraction. There was Moat Land.
Have your X-coupons ready, please. Have your X-coupons ready.
There was Entrance Hall Land.
Y coupons, please.
There was Stair Land.
That's a Z coupon, folks. A Z coupon.
And, of course, Sleeping Beauty herself. Sleeping Beauty Land was clearly a great success.
1,000,001, 1,000,002. Sorry, the castle's closed till 8 a.m.
Hold it, Junior. I'm Yolanda, the wicked fairy that puts Sleeping Beauty to sleep.
Well, that calls for some free coupon books.
Books, Nook, I want half of this whole setup, or else.
Else what?
Else I use my magic powers to wake her up.
Well, now, we can't have that, can we, partner? And you are my partner, and a charming one at that. Now, wouldn't you like to see some of our Sleeping Beauty Land?
Why not?
Just step this way to Dungeon Land.
My, this is spooky.
Well, it's very popular. Some people stay here for a long, long time.
How does it work?
Well, I put these around your wrist, you see?
Yes?
Then I leave. Well, have a good time. I'll see you in a couple of years, kid.
So, once again, the prince was in business for himself.
1,064,000, 1,065,000.
Hiya, honey.
You're back. You broke the chains.
Yeah, they don't make them like they used to.
Well, partner, how about trying our special submarine ride?
Keen.
The cement is just a safety precaution. The city makes us do it.
I like the way it squishes between my toes.
It's quick drying, too. There. Not squishy now, is it?
If I like this one, can I go again?
I'm afraid not. It's more of a one-way ride.
So the prince was once more without a partner.
4,000,002, 4,000,003.
Hello, I'm back. That ride was more fun, especially that first part.
But-
Imagine half of all this is mine.
Yes, including the souvenir sales.
Souvenirs? How much do they sell for?
Well, this one is 75 cents. This one is $1. This Sleeping Beauty cowboy lasso is only $1.69. Now, let's see. Carry the 4 and... Say, you're in luck, little lady.
I am.
You betcha. You also get the official Sleeping Beauty Land moon rocket as a bonus gift.
Goody. I've always wanted a...
And the clever prince had apparently solved his problem. But soon he had another one. For the next morning, the crowds outside the castle were smaller, and the next day, smaller still. Clearly, Sleeping Beauty was a slipping beauty. And the prince was very sad indeed. Then, suddenly...
Hiya, sweetie. I'm back. And was that ever a ride?
Well, you can have the whole thing back now, Toots. Sleeping Beauty Land is a flop.
Now, wait a minute. She's been asleep for 20 years, right?
Right.
Maybe people would pay money to talk to somebody who's been asleep for 20 years.
You mean...
Yes, we just wake her up.
We'll make a fortune. Go ahead and do it.
Who, me?
You put her to sleep, didn't you?
Well, frankly, no. I'm not really a wicked fairy. I'm just wicked.
But then how...
Easy. You kiss her. You're a prince, aren't you?
Well, not exactly. I never joined the union. I really make my living beating pigskins.
You mean...
Yes, I'm a hog flogger.
But just then a remarkable thing happened. Sleeping Beauty's eyes opened, and she sat up.
Don't worry, kids. I wasn't really asleep.
Then why the big 20-year act?
I just wanted to see if I could make it in showbiz.
Well, since Boris Badenov pushed them into a clock tower and wrecked the controls, time is really flying for Rocky and Bullwinkle. And when Bullwinkle tried to break through the door, he bounced right into the whirling machinery.
Bullwinkle, where are you?
I'm right down here at about 2:30.
I want to fly down and get some help.
And the plucky squirrel eased himself out through a small window in the face of the clock and leaped into space. And just in time, too. Down and down he streaked, then shot right through the window of the conference room of the World Economic Council.
The clock! The clock is out of control!
The members ran to the window and looked out. Sure enough, the enormous clock was acting in a most peculiar way.
Oh, this is terrible.
You said it, Mr. Blurt. Bullwinkle's inside that thing.
No, you don't understand. That's the biggest clock in the city. The whole town regulates its time by our clock. Things must be awful down there.
Fiduciary Blurt was quite right, for even though the huge clock hand swung wildly, people still tried to regulate their lives by its time.
Good morning, dear. Leaving for work?
You out of your mind, Mabel? I just got home.
Hurry, Walter. You'll be late for school.
But it's the middle of the night, Mom.
The lawn needs mowing, Woodrow.
I'll do it tomorrow.
Don't be silly, Woodrow. Tomorrow was over yesterday.
Meanwhile, Rocky and Fiduciary Blurt had rushed to the clock tower.
We gotta break down the door. Here, let's use this fire axe.
Allow me, young man.
It's Hemlock Soames, the chief security officer.
Stand back, please. You shouldn't get hit by splinters.
Hurry! My pal is in danger.
Of course, little fellow.
But as Boris swung the axe back, he let go of it and it flew out the window.
Oh, I'm such a butterfingers.
Now we'll never get into the clock tower.
Meanwhile, Bullwinkle had succeeded in climbing to a small platform just above the whirling machinery.
Boy, safe at last.
Little did Bullwinkle know that he was standing right next to the clock's chimes, and as the hand moved to 15 after, a huge hammer drew back, ready to strike the quarter hour with Bullwinkle's head as its target. Meanwhile, Rocky was searching for something with which to smash the tower door open.
Hey there. What you doing in my broom closet?
I'm looking for something to open the tower door with.
By yemeni, you're in luck, little feller. I got a special thing yours for that.
An axe?
No.
A battering ram?
No.
A sledgehammer?
No.
What is it?
Well, I call it a key.
A key? Well, let me have it.
And Rocky dashed off with the key to the tower. Unfortunately for the janitor, the keychain was still fastened to his belt.
Oh, he's a cute little squirrel.
This must be the wrong key. It's open. Thanks a lot, mister.
That's okay. Just get his license number.
Bullwinkle?
Yeah, Rock. Ooh!
The huge hammer missed Bullwinkle's head by a whisker, but the vibration that followed knocked him off his platform and out of the window in the clock face.
He's gone.
Let me look. Oh, poor fellow.
Gee, Mr. Soames, is he...
Don't look. You wouldn't like it.
Boris, he's really gone?
I hate to say this, Natasha, but no.
Sure enough, Bullwinkle was at that moment hanging by his fingertips from the hand of the clock, which showed 20 minutes after 4.
So what we do now?
We just wait till 1:30.
Don't miss our next episode, Crime on My Hands, or Hickory Dickory Drop.
And now for the uninformed, here's the biggest informer of them all, Mr. Know-It-All.
Greetings, brain builder-uppers. Today's subject is swimming can be fun and wet. Now, in order to swim, one must have a pool. And in order to have a pool, one must have a hole. This one here. After lining the hole with cement, fill it with H2Os, which is soft water. We are now ready for our fun. There are many ways of entering the pool, but the best way is via the diving board. Of course, it does help if you put the board over the pool. Once in the water, there are many things you can do, like swimming. Now, for all you neophytes, those are swimmers made out of rubber, it is a good idea to start with the dog paddle. Yeah. Chewed the paddle up a little, didn't you? The second most widely used stroke is the butterfly. Before entering the water, wave the arms like a butterfly and...
What do you know? An antlered fire-winged goofus.
Put me down!
A talking antlered fire-winged goofus.
Oh, well. Even if you can't swim, just get yourself an old inner tube, put it around your middle, and jump in.
Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All. Mr. Know-It-All? And
Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
But
See? Nothing up my sleeve. Presto! Wrong hat.
and now it's time to meet Mr. Peabody.
Peabody here. You're just in time to join Sherman and me on another journey into history.
What year shall I set the Wayback Machine for, Mr. Peabody?
1191, Sherman.
And the place?
The Holy Land, where we look in on the Crusades led by that indestructible English monarch, Richard the Lionhearted. The Wayback transported Sherman and me to our destination, but as luck would have it, we arrived in the midst of a battle royal between the Saracens and the English. However, it was a battle of short duration.
Golly, Mr. Peabody, all of a sudden everybody stopped fighting.
I beg your pardon, soldier, but has the enemy surrendered?
Oh, no, it's merely tea time. We always stop for our afternoon tea.
Taking advantage of the brief recess, Sherman and I proceeded to seek out King Richard. It wasn't until we came across a regal tent at the rear of the lines that we heard...
You dared to attack the King of England, do you? Well, take that, and that!
Sounds like King Richard's in trouble.
We entered, but saw no signs of the enemy.
Arm yourselves if you value your lives.
But who are you fighting?
Him.
Good heavens, a mouse!
Yes, I was halfway through my Roquefort when the monster attacked.
Couldn't you scare him off?
Me scare him?
Surely your majesty is not afraid of mice.
Mice, fish, canaries, people, buildings, trees, you name it, I'm afraid of it.
But why do they call you lion-hearted?
A misnomer. Actually, I'm chicken-hearted.
I would imagine that the war is going badly.
Oh, yes. So far, I've lost 2 wedges of Roquefort, a slice of Limburger.
Not your war, your highness. The war outside.
Oh, that one. Yes, I wonder how it's going.
We soon found out.
Bad news, your grace!
Out with it, man. Are we retreating?
Worse than that, we've run out of tea.
That is bad news.
The situation called for an urgent meeting between Richard and his chiefs of staff.
I say we should call the whole thing off. We're running low on crumpets.
Gentlemen, I have a plan that would end the war in 1 hour.
Wizard. Absolutely wizard. What is your plan?
Who leads the Saracens?
Saladin.
Then you meet Saladin on the field of battle. Whoever wins, wins the war. How does that strike you?
Unconscious.
We adjourned to a practice area where I drilled Richard in the art of medieval warfare. This is a crossbow, sire. You merely pull the trigger and release the arrow in the direction of your opponent.
You mean like this?
Yes, like that. Of course, your aim was bad.
I see what you mean.
Next, I instructed him in the handling of a mace.
You mean you want me to smash that dummy with this?
Exactly. Pretend it's Saladin.
Oh, I can't do it. I'm much too much of a coward.
You must force yourself, sire. Now swing hard. And swing he did, launching a most prodigious blow.
Couldn't I challenge Saladin to a game of parcheesi or something?
No, you have to fight him. I guess you'll have to use this magic sword.
Magic sword, Mr. Peabody?
Yes. Don't you remember, Sherman? This piece of steel was fashioned by a dervish in Damascus. Whosoever wieldeth it possesses the courage of 20 lions.
You mean if I fight Saladin with his sword, I can't lose?
Precisely.
Psst. Is it really a magic sword?
Of course not, Sherman, but it may give him confidence. And so King Richard faced the fierce Saladin, and although Saladin was a master swordsman, when the smoke cleared...
Yay! Long live the king!
Later, inside Richard's tent, I disclosed the truth about the so-called magic sword.
I don't believe it.
It's true, Your Grace. Look at the inscription. Made in Japan, not Damascus.
Oh, that's wonderful.
You mean your victory over Saladin?
Oh, no. The fact that I can now look a goldfish in the eye without flinching.
Thus, from that day forward, Richard lived up to the name Lionhearted. In fact, he never took a walk without at least 2 lions on a leash. Yes, Richard was lion-hearted, all right. But of course, he was no fool.
Well, last time, you remember, we were, where were we last time?
Oh, come on now. This is Fiduciary Blurt, chairman of the World Economic Council.
Yes, and we are horrified because somebody is counterfeiting box tops, the basis of the world's economy.
And Bullwinkle and I have been hired to find the counterfeiters. We're being helped by Mr. Blurt's chief security officer.
Allow me to introduce myself. Hemlock Soames, and this is my assistant, Dr. Watkins.
People bean.
But you two are really...
Toto, don't be blabbermouth, you blabbermouth.
And meanwhile, I, Bullwinkle Moose, am dangling by my pinky tips from this here clock hand.
Got the picture now?
I've got it.
Okay, let's go.
Has Moose dropped off yet, darling?
No, he's only 26 after, but at half past...
True enough, as the clock hand approached the half hour, Bullwinkle slipped nearer and nearer the end of it.
Nearer and nearer the end of me, too.
And unfortunately for Bullwinkle, Rocky thought he had already fallen.
Poor Bullwinkle. How can I carry on?
Oh, don't feel bad, Rock.
I can't help it. You were my best friend.
Yeah, I wasn't I?
Bullwinkle, is it really you?
You got any other buddies with antlers?
What are you doing out there?
Just hanging around. What time you got, Rock?
About 4:29 and a half. Why?
'Cause at 4:30 I got an appointment to fall off this here clock.
Hooky smoke, Bullwinkle. We gotta get you in here.
I sorta hoped you'd think of that.
Here, let me grab your feet. What's so funny?
I got ticklish hoofs.
But at that moment, the huge clock hand moved another minute.
4:30. Well, I must be going.
And Bullwinkle's hands lost their grip. Fortunately, our boy Rocky was able to pull his feet under the window so that he wound up hanging by his knees hundreds of feet above the ground.
Give me your hand, Bullwinkle. I'll try to pull you in.
Hurry, Rock. The blood is rushing through my antlers.
It's no use, Bullwinkle. You weigh too much.
Yeah, I shouldn't have eaten such a heavy lunch.
Well, hang on, Bullwinkle. Somebody's bound to notice you sooner or later.
Sure enough, at that moment, Bullwinkle was being observed from the park across the street.
Now, there's something you don't see every day, Edward.
What's that, Chauncey?
A moose hanging out of the casement window.
Oh, I don't know, Chauncey. Casement windows are getting pretty popular.
Fortunately, at that moment, the chairman of the World Economic Council, Fiduciary Blurt, happened to glance out of his window.
No, goodness.
Please, there is a lady present.
That moose fella's still hanging out there.
It's past 4:30. He's late.
Mr. Soames, you must save him.
Who, me?
What can you do?
Easy. I get rope like this, make noose like this, and lasso moose with noose like that.
Thanks 1,000, Mr. Soames.
Gee, I guess I was wrong, Bullwinkle, not trusting him.
Well done, Soames.
Elementary, my dear Watkins. And I only forgot one thing.
What was that?
I didn't fasten other end of lasso.
And sure enough, when Bullwinkle reached the end of his rope, he kept right on going. Don't miss our next exciting episode, Down to Earth or the Bullwinkle Bounce.